Right, hi there. Today we're cooking bhuna. I prepared my 2 diced onions earlier on with some half of red pepper and half of green pepper. I've put it in a little bit of oil and we've just started that off because this is going to go in our chicken tikka bhuna when we have finished the actual curry. So I did prepare these earlier and start them off, and then also I just peeled some onions, put in a cross sign like you would when you do your Brussels sprouts for Christmas. Just score them a little bit, not all the way through, and then boil them in some water. Keep them boiling till they go quite soft. I'd say for about 10 minutes. And then do not throw the water away with them because you will need them, and you'll see why later. Because that is going to be your actual base. A lot of curries we cook, we do but with these curries you don't need a base, and that's what I like about it, because you're using your onions to do your base. So that's really good. I did prepare some chicken tikka earlier. I have got my hat on, which my wife and my lovely boy got me. And also I am following a recipe from Al's Kitchen. If you haven't heard of him, he's a brilliant guy that cooks amazing curries, and this is where I've learned to make the curries from. Right, so my really nice. I'm going to turn them off, I'm going to take them out. So I'm going to turn them off, second, and then I'm going to take them out and put them in this bowl because I will be coming back and using them later on. So I'm going to put them in here. They're lovely, nice and soft, not too soft, but they'll be nice and crunchy to go in the curry later on. So we'll put them to one side, and then I'm just going to pause the video now, and I'll be back in a minute to show you my onions. Oh, hi there. I forgot to tell you about the chicken tikka. Here's the chicken tikka that I prepared. What I've done was I diced up 2 kilos of chicken, and then I put in, you can make your own, get your own spices from any shop, but I'm very lazy when I can't be bothered with all these measurements, 50 grams of this, 50 grams of that. So what I do is I go to Spicy Joe's. It's a brilliant spice, and it's the one that's off Al's Kitchen. He's on Facebook, and he's also on YouTube, but this is where I got it from, and it's chicken tikka blend. And all you do is you put your 2 kilos of chicken in, put about 5 tablespoons, 6 tablespoons full of this stuff, with 200 grams of yogurt, maybe a bit more. I tend to put in 400 to 500 because I like it really to mix into my chicken. Then I'll marinate that for overnight, which helps it soak into the chicken, and then it's ready then to put on at 180. Put it on 180 for 30 minutes, and then I'll see how that's going. My onions look like they're nearly done, so I'm going to take them off now, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So now my onions are done, my blender ready, my hand blender. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain these, so you'll see me drain the water now, because you will use this later on. So now I'm going to drain this into here. So drain this, because you will be using this later on. So once we drain that nice onion gravy, which we'll use later on in our curry to make it more of a curry base, more of a curry sauce, we'll put that to the side. Make sure you put it out of the way of kids because it is boiling hot. Right, now we'll start blending these onions. So this is the blender I use. I got it from Argos. I think it was about 20 quid. It's absolutely brilliant. So we'll blend all these onions up for our base. I'll be back in a few seconds. Right, we're back. Once I've blended the onions, which I've just done, I'll show you what it should look like. That it looks like mashed potato, but actually it's onion. Try and get all the bits out of it because you don't really want big lumps of onion. So what we do now is we'll turn our pan on. So we'll turn our big pan on. One moment. So let's get the pan going, the hob. One moment, we'll get the pan going. Put in quite a bit of oil. So I'm going to put in some olive oil. I like to use olive oil because, as I said, so we'll put some oil in, but don't worry about this oil, it will burn all down. So we'll put some oil in. And then also stop your onions sticking, your onion paste sticking to the bottom of the pan. So here we go, we're getting the pan going, getting it ready, and we're going to be throwing in our onion at the moment. Right, so we'll get that going. I don't want to make it too hot because when I put it in I don't want it splashing back on me. So right, now I'm going to throw my onions in. So then we throw our onions in. You can hear that sizzling. Turn it down a tad. And then what we're going to do is we're going to leave that for 8 minutes and then we'll come back to it. We're also going to add a little bit of sugar to this just to make it a bit sweeter. So we'll add a little bit of sugar. And then we're also going to add some salt, which what the salt will do is it will stop the acidity in the onions. So we're going to get some salt. I'm going to use ground salt because I really like that. So I'm going to put some of that in. So let me just rest that there. Probably can't see me, yes you can. There you go, and I'll put a bit of sugar and salt in there just to make it a bit sweeter and take the acidity out of the onions. Makes that bitter, takes that bitter taste out, so it'll be much nicer. Right, back in a moment. Right, here we are back after 8 minutes. Now I'm going to put in some green cardamom pods. I'm only going to put a few in because these are hard to break down actually, and I like to pick them out of the curry. I'll get the flavour out of them, but I like to get them out after because I don't like them crunching in my mouth, to be honest with you. Right, so there you go, just put a handful in, and I will take them out after. And then also I'm going to put some garlic, crushed garlic paste in. So I'm going to push garlic paste in. I'm going to grab that now. And the same again, I'm very lazy. I like to just use the stuff from here, from Morrison's that I bought. And it's the crushed garlic from there. You can do it yourself, but you can use the jarred stuff, but it does taste like a bit acidy in the curry. So it's best to use fresh. Fresh is best. So I've just squeezed about that much of the tube in, that's all. And then I'll mix that in. So I'm going to start mixing that in now. So this curry's really coming together now. Because that's my base done. You'll see it, it will totally transform in a minute. As soon as you put your spices in, you'll see it actually turn into a curry paste and then actually turn into a beautiful cooked bhuna curry. So right, here is my spice that I use, and same again, I use it from Spicy Joe's. It's absolutely brilliant company. I've used it for a few months now. It was recommended by my brother-in-law, Craig. So thank you for that. And then I've ordered from there ever since, because same again, I'm too lazy to measure out all these bits and bobs when you can get the best blend from here and you will never taste curries like it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start adding a bit of tomato puree. So I've got my tomato puree. I just squeeze this in. You can put it in water, a bit of warm water, and then it will be easier to get it out, but I just pour it straight out the tube. So I'll put a bit of this in, and it's all to your own taste really, how much you want to put in. And then mix that in. And I'll turn this down a tad. So that's the tomato puree paste going in. So mix that all in. And then what we're going to put in then is we are going to put in our, one moment, put the light on. We are going to put in our spice. So we're going to put in our blend. So turn the pan down for this because you don't want to burn the spices, because you'll taste that burnt of spice in the actual curry. It's not very nice. So I'm going to add 5 tablespoons full of this, maybe 6. I think I might go for 6. But just remember, putting in less is better, because if you put in a lot, you can always, if you put in less, you can always add. If you put in too much, you're going to ruin the curry, and then it's trying to save that curry then. That's my alarm going off for my chicken tikka, which I will pause at the moment, and I'll carry on with just showing you this, putting these spices in. So if I lower that down, because you don't want to burn the spices, and then I will show you now what it transforms into. So 1, 2, spices that are in, I'm just going to gently mix that in. Remember, we don't want to turn up the pan, we don't want it burning, so if we gently turn that in, you'll see this turn into a curry paste. We'll turn it all around, there you go, get all them spices in. And then we're left with like a curry paste. So that's looking really, really good. Really mix them spices in. You don't want it sticking to the side and burning. So that's really, really good. Now this is where you come back to your chicken tikka. So I'm going to check my chicken tikka and see how it's getting on. Now here is my chicken tikka. Now I don't want to do it too much because I am going to be adding that to my curry, so I don't want it going very dry. There's nothing worse than a dry bit of chicken in a curry. So we're going to now, just to show you me putting the actual chicken into the curry, and then we will add our onion water. So one moment, I'll add this all into my curry. And then mix all this in. It's a real simple curry to make. I wouldn't be making it if it was tough. I'm not a top cook. I do try, but since I've found about how to make these curries from Al's Kitchen, it's absolutely transformed my curry making. I mean, I am actually pleased when people try these curries that are friends from work, family, and they all say how good they are. I mean, recently I did one for my grandson's birthday, Leo, and everybody was saying how nice the curry was, which I really I felt good about it, because I was cooking that curry. I got up early in the morning, at the day of his birthday. We had it on the Saturday, so I got up really early and I cooked 4 big pots of it. So yeah, it was a lot of effort doing the 4 pots, but wow, worth it to see the end result and people really enjoying it. So I've put all my chicken in here now, and I'll show you that now. So mix all that in. So I'll just show you that. Now you can see that looking like a nice curry, and then this is where your onion gravy comes in. Just add a little bit of onion gravy. You can always, like I say, it's always best to put less, because you can always add if need more. Okay, so let's mix that all in, and that will mix in with the paste and start making my sauce, and you will really see it coming together now. I'll turn my pan up a little bit now because I've got my spices already all in there, so they're not going to burn because they're mixed in. Now you can tell when you're turning it, it'll be quite tough to turn. If you do that, if you'd get that, I'd add some more onion gravy, onion water, sorry. So right, so that's like that, and then I'll add some more onion water. So add some more of that, and then mix all that in. Oh, that curry is really coming together now. I can really smell it. It smells so nice. Really nice to eat this with a nice cheesy naan. Just get yourself some naans, grate some cheese on it, and it's the proper way to actually eat any kind of curry for me, is to actually just scoop it up with your naan bread. Absolutely lovely. Right, so that is looking really like a bhuna now. So it's really coming on. It's all to each acquired taste, but I like to put some chopped tomatoes in mine. It just sweetens it up a little bit. You can try it as you're going along. If you feel that it's not quite sweet, you're getting too much of a spice from it, you can add more sugar. Put more sugar in it, or even a little bit of Heinz tomato ketchup. I do put some of that in myself because it sweetens it up. And if you're doing it for gluten, this is completely gluten-free curry. So if you was gluten-free, make sure you're using, as you know, if you're cooking for somebody that's gluten-free, to use Heinz tomato sauce, because you can't use any other sauce because it's no longer gluten-free. Thank you. I'll be back in a moment. And then what you're left with then is after you've cooked this for another further 8-10 minutes, is you're left with a beautiful curry. There you go, it's absolutely beautiful. And what I did put in mine was, I put a little bit more natural yogurt in it. I just like to sweeten it up a little, thicken it up a little bit with the natural yogurt. And also, I put in a tiny little bit of double cream, single cream, sorry. Put a tiny little bit of that in, and then it just sweetens it up a little bit for me, because most of the family don't like it too spicy. So it still have that nice little bit of spice to it, but you'll get that sweetness first in the curry, and then you'll get the spice hit you a little bit after. So you get a bit of both. It's not too spicy. So there you go, and that's my curry there. And that is a lovely chicken tikka bhuna. I will show you later when I've plated it up, but that is the chicken bhuna cooking away. Just keep stirring it because it just bubbles like bloody mad. So yeah, so that is the chicken tikka bhuna. Now what I'll do now is, I will chop up some coriander and throw in some coriander and mix that in, and then I'll add a little bit of coriander after when I've finished the curry. But then what I'll add in a moment, I will add my onions and peppers that I diced up earlier on. So it's always best to try the curry as you're going along, just to see how you're getting on with it. I mean, I am using clean spoons. Yes, for me, oh, that is cooking beautiful, beautiful, that's done. So what I'll do now is I'll throw my onions in, which is here, which adds to that crispy that you do get in your chicken tikka bhunas, where you get that crispy onion in there. So I'm going to add that to it now. Tip that in. There you go. Oh yes, it looks beautiful. And then I'll mix that in. Gently mix it in, because as I've got a massive pot of curry here, I don't want it going all over the cooker. So mix that all in. And then I will put some chopped tomatoes in it. I think I'll add a few just before I make the curry, just before I eat the curry, because I like tomatoes. And that is it really. The curry is done, and it will be ready for you to eat and enjoy with your family. And once you cook these curries, you won't go back to getting the jarred stuff. It's just not. My little boy likes the curry as well, and he don't eat curry, my little Ollie. Even he eats the curry because he says it's very sweet. It's got a little bit of spice to it, but not too much. The kids can eat it if you follow the way I've made it. Chicken tikka that I'm doing just for starters. Oh, my phone's steamed up, but I'll get that out for you to have a quick peek of. So here's the chicken tikka. I burn myself. There you go. That's cooking lovely. So I'll put that back in. That'll be my starter. And that's it really. There's my chicken bhuna curry. And I will enjoy that later with some naan and get the verdict off the family. Thank you. Thanks ever so much for watching or listening or even following my recipe. Thank you very much. Bye.